Hello and welcome to the Dharma.life podcast. In this episode, we are discussing why humanity will need to break down before it breaks through. And you will have a clearer understanding of how it is so important that we sit back and reflect rather than react. I'm going to be discussing exactly what's been happening this week in relation to the racial tension, the riots, the Blackout Tuesday, and I'm going to be giving you the 5D perspective. So please do watch all the way to the end. If you haven't already, please subscribe. My name is Aloise.life. I'm a transformational teacher and coach, and I'm the creator of the Dharma.life podcast and the Dharma.life Academy. And every week I interview 5D thought leaders who are calling in the new paradigm. So breaking down to break through. We are in an intense time. I just want to read you this. You've probably seen this going around on social media, but I think it's really relevant. From an astrological perspective, what is happening in 2020? At the moment, we have got Saturn in Aquarius. The last time this happened was the Rodney King riots. We've also got Pluto in Capricorn, and the last time this happened, the American Revolution happened. And also Neptune is in Pisces, and last time this happened, Rome fell. Now, all three of these things are happening currently. And if you have been on social media, you will have seen what is happening on our planet. Now, I just want to give you a higher perspective. Whenever there is chaos, it comes before creation. Now, we are in a period of breaking down the inequality on the planet so we can break through to 5D and unity consciousness and the golden age. Now, the old systems, the old corrupt systems have to break down before this can happen. So this chaos that we're seeing will become before this period of creation. So the whole of 2020 up until the solstice, things like this are going to be happening. And so you just need to stay awake, stay aware, and learn to reflect, not respond. So let's talk about some of the things that are happening this week. So we've seen this week, obviously, we have seen racial tension. We've seen a lot of race-related incidents, George Floyd being one of them. We've gone from COVID and everybody questioning, was this virus real? Was it fake? There's something doesn't feel right here. Everybody then wanting to open the countries, and there being resistance around opening countries from some governments, from some states. And of course, all of this has been completely shifted into the conversation of race. Now, I want to remind you that really the conversation that we need to be in right now is the 1%, the elite. If you've listened to my Great Awakening Part 2 video, you will know that actually the conversation we need to be in right now is, how can we have equality on the planet for all? And how can we dismantle the corruption that the elite has basically done on our planet? We want equality for everybody. Now, what's happened is our ancestral wounds are being triggered through this race-related incidents. Now, I personally believe that the George Floyd thing is a massive false flag. I truly believe that it was actually instigated. There's been reports of George Floyd actually being a Mason. Now, but what's happened is this caused this massive separation with humanity. And people are quite rightly standing up for what they want, which is equality, and they've gone out to protest. Now, there's something fishy happening here, and I want you to stay awake and aware for the rest of this year, because we have to question everything. There have been reports of bricks being left on streets. There have been flyers were shown and reported or given to demonstrators and telling them what to do. These protests are organized. They are funded. People are paid to protest destructively. Now, what is happening is the mainstream media is highlighting all of this, and they're portraying it in such a way that they're blaming Trump. And what then we're not seeing is we're not seeing the peaceful protests that are happening. And people are in this stage of uprising, which is fantastic, you know. We have to remember that there are more of us than they are of the 1%. And the biggest thing that the 1% don't want us to do is to come together. Because if we come together, we are so much stronger. And this is what we have to understand. So everyone had such good intentions posting the black squares and obviously doing the silent blackout in sort of solidarity for what is for Black people and what is happening. And we have to kind of question what the mainstream media feeds us and what celebrities are promoting, because actually that blackout is again silencing the voice. It's silencing everybody's voice. At the moment, what we want to be doing is raising awareness around how something, again, isn't right with these riots. You know, people are naturally inherently good. People want the planet to be thriving and successful. And unfortunately, we are being manipulated. So the Blackout Tuesday, you know, if you did do that, you know, I know it came from an amazing place. I know you were trying to do the right thing. Don't worry. But please start to reflect and respond, not react. So what that has kind of transpired is that has almost like satanic references. So the black cube. And it's again a way of us being silenced, a bit like the masks that we are being asked to wear. Again, it's a way of us stopping us speaking up. So it has been a hell of a week. It has been an absolute incredible week. And if you're watching this broadcast, chances are you're a starseed or you're somebody that's here to hold the vibration. It's very important that we are really, really taking care of ourselves in these times. You know, I personally have had quite a hell of a week myself. You know, I've been trying to red pill and, you know, get some of my friends to understand where I'm coming from in my perspective, because they see me supporting Trump and they're like thinking, what the hell is going on? Why is this woman supporting Trump? But what they're not seeing is they're not seeing the agenda that is happening behind the scenes. So the conversation we need to be in as humanity is how can we dismantle the inequality so that the 1%, the corrupt 1%, are not manipulating and controlling the planet. So have a think about what you can do. It's really a time to speak up. It's really a time to use your voice. A lot of us think, what can we do? We're kind of just us, but actually you can share. If you're in the conversation, if you're in the higher 5D perspective, we need you right now. We really need you to share. You know, if you're comfortable sharing things like the peaceful protests, that is a really, really positive thing that you can do, because it's showing that we are good and that humanity are inherently good. You know, choose to post things that really, really will be highlighting what is happening on the planet. And if you have got this perspective of you understand that the elite is controlling and manipulating us, then you can also share things around that. Now, this is going to play out for the whole of this year, just to kind of let you know, so you can kind of buckle up. Really important time to be basically doubling down on your spiritual practice, to be really looking after yourself, to be really nurturing yourself. Personally, my husband and I are doing a silent meditation retreat this weekend. I really need to go offline. I really need to recharge my batteries. So we're turning off our phones. We're doing it from home. Normally he would go away and do a Vipassana and do a silent meditation retreat. But this week we are going to do it from home. We're literally switching everything off. We'll be watching kind of guided meditations. We'll be doing yoga. We'll be eating really clean. So have a look at what you can do to support yourself. All of us are being called to go to the next level right now. So a lot of inner child work. I'm going to do a separate video on inner child stuff. But for us to go to that next level, we need to do our own inner work and our own healing work. You know, I know for me right now, the inner child work is such a necessity. You know, I had quite a weird and wonderful childhood. I don't really remember most of it. And really now is the time for me not to be in my wounded inner child, for me to be really in my power. So I'm really focusing on doing this work. So you will be given guidance to what work it is that you need to do. What is it that's working in your world? What is it that's not working? Have a look at that. That will be giving you a pointer. We'll do another video on inner child work coming forward. So really just stay awake, stay aware. What is happening is very much they're giving us a problem and a reaction, and then they'll give us the solution. So what they're doing is they're essentially, making us feel like we're unsafe because of the rioting and the disruption. And then, of course, they will enforce martial law, which is just another way of clamping down and getting more control over people and stopping their movement, a bit like they did with COVID, keeping us inside, keeping us separated. With martial law, it enables them to do curfews. So this is all playing out in America predominantly. So really the key thing for us to do, if we are awake and aware and we understand that we have the alliance and we understand that we have the dark forces, then we really need to be sharing around the alliance and around Donald Trump, because the elections will be so crucial, because essentially I do believe that we've already won this spiritual war, but it is essential that Donald Trump gets in. So the more people we can wake up to the layers of deception, because there's so many layers of deception, and it is quite the rabbit hole, which I'm sure you guys will know if you've been in it. But yes, we can all have a part to play. Please manage your energy. Please also look after yourselves. Please be nice to yourselves. Please come off social media when you need to. Please go into nature. Please go into meditation. If there's mass meditations, please go and support those. This is a time of incredible, incredible transformation. We are breaking down right now to break through. Remember, I used the butterfly analogy, the caterpillar. So the caterpillar literally eats itself. It's pretty messy. And we are going through the eating process before we can burst out into our transformation and into the golden age. So stay awake, stay aware, please reflect, don't react. And I'll see you next week for another episode.
Thank you so much for listening to the Dharma Life podcast. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come over and say hello on my Instagram, our Facebook group, and also please let me know what you thought. So if you are listening, please take a screenshot of the podcast that you are listening to. Tag me on Instagram and I will reshare your post, and please let me know what it is that you got out of today's episode. Remember, when we do our Dharma, we are happier, healthier, we live longer, and we have a deep sense of unshakable inner peace.